All right, Volume 2. It's Coach AP.
Coach Bess.
We're going to be talking about ACC experiences today. We're going to be talking about the World Junior coaches being announced the last couple of weeks, and we're going to talk about coaching development from that side. Also, Q cuts. We've seen a lot of cuts now in the past couple of days. Just from a player's perspective, what do you do if you do get cut from a level like that? ACC experiences, Bess. We had the Team NL or the H&L teams announced for the Atlantic Challenge Cup. That tournament normally goes down Thanksgiving weekend in Moncton, New Brunswick. You have been involved as a coach on the Hockey New Brunswick side. I've been involved on the H&L side as a player and as a coach. Let's talk about experiences. Starting with you.
I think it's just a fun event. You get to compete against really the best. It's the best of the best. We have spring tournaments and whatnot, but sometimes you're missing a player here, you're missing a player there. For the most part, these events, you're getting everybody. So to have that kind of process, have it start at spring camp, kind of shorten the funnel down, just to be competing best on best, it's an experience. To me, that rink in Moncton is perfect for it. When you get to the forward pad there, I don't know what it's called now. It was Superior Propane. I think it's Greenfoot here now because they seem to have everything in the Maritimes.
They've changed that rink name so many times.
It used to be the Red Ball Energy Center.
Red Ball Energy Center, yeah.
Or Internet maybe. Anyway, same idea.
Yeah, it was. Superior Propane was the one that rings a bell to me. Yeah. But then there was the Red Ball Center. I don't know what Red Ball was. And I'm assuming a lot of other people didn't because they didn't have the sponsorship for very long.
We're still talking about it though. So.
We are.
But when you get up in that concourse and you're walking rink to rink, kind of again, you play in rink A, it's fun. But even those rink B, C, and D, that stands, especially in some of those big games, it's packed, it's loud, people around the glass. It's a fun experience to coach in and to be a part of. I can only imagine what it's like to be a player in that too.
Being a player back then was a lot different though, Bess, because it wasn't at Moncton. The event was in different places every year. So my first year was in Sydney, Nova Scotia. So it wasn't at one rink. It was all over the place. We played games at Center 200, but we also played games in a town called Dominion, which was just outside of Sydney. And we played the first ever games at the new rink, which was in Glace Bay at the time, which is now, that's 20 plus years ago.
We played the Cape Breton Cougars, my U15, when the old Major Bantam League. I believe we scored 5, but Cape had a pretty good team, and it was a 9-5 game when this ended. But I know exactly what rink you're talking about right now. I can see my bad pinches for 3 of those goals.
Man, Glace actually had a really nice. This was a beautiful facility. Back again, it was a long time ago. Just trying to remember it in my mind. I remember we only played one game there. We practiced in New Waterford, so we were all over the place. Now the year after was in St. John, New Brunswick. Yeah. So it was a little bit more isolated. Now, there were games at Harbour Station, but most of the games were at the Lord Beaverbrook Arena. I absolutely love that burn.
You get the sun
glaring in. I love that. It was like God was watching me play hockey for the game.
Catholic Subaru's got a little bit of that right now, actually.
It does. I think natural light makes a hockey rink, though. If you don't have any, and you're okay, Twin Rinks or Capital Mitsubishi Center now, I find it's really kind of dingy. But when you get a little bit of natural light in there, like at Subaru, the windows aren't that big, but it's just kind of brightens it up a little bit, and it gives a great atmosphere.
I don't disagree. But no, it's the other thing about ACC I think it's fun is you got the 2 male divisions and you got the 2 female divisions all happening. So you're probably, as you're walking back to your rink where your dressing room is, you're also catching maybe a couple minutes here, or you see the big goal, or everyone starts to kind of cheer on. I think that part and the camaraderie that you have between not just your team but the other teams, there is some provincial pride there that is fun to play for.
Well, folks, let's take a good look at my U17 photo. Now, are you ready for this, Ryan Bessie?
Well, I don't think it changed that much, so I feel like it's just like going in the mirror.
It's really hard to believe that a person with 2 good-looking parents and a good-looking brother produced a child that looked like this at age 60. Now,
is that frosted tips in there?
That is. That look, you could basically, that is the urine colored hair, ladies and gentlemen. That is an off yellow. We tried to go blonde for something. I can't remember what it was, why we tried to go blonde.
Summer sport, or?
We were doing something for ball hockey, I think, or something for our U18 AAA team, and we ended up going, and for whatever reason, my hair is dark brown. So going with the blonde just really, and again, that was many, many years ago. Technology's probably improved a lot since we did that. So yeah, and if you look really close, I have crazy acne. So it wasn't really a great photo. And look at the old jerseys; they were just practice jerseys, eh?
That's the one thing I find there too. Like even the way the players are treated. So like you have your equipment managers, the way you have your jerseys, like it feels as close to pro as you can, I think, for that age group. Like it's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be an entry-level tournament into the high-performance program and hopefully eventually into Hockey Canada's program of excellence. So I think they do a really, really good job. I know for us on the New Brunswick side, you have your video pregame, you have your quick meetings, you have your warm-up that's run by your kind of your trainers, you have all of that, and it resembles a pro experience. And I think that's one of the things that they do best. It truly is a remarkable experience for the athletes that are selected.
There's so many changes since that photo was taken from just from a tournament from the ACC perspective. Back then, it was only U16, U17 guys, and it was U18 girls. That was it. And U18 girls, you would have girls from Newfoundland that were aged like 13, 14 on the U18 team. Sometimes you would even have a really strong 12, 13-year-old on the U18 team because you only had one team. And back then, there just weren't as many females playing. Now you have a U14 division, a U16 division, and a U18. Now U18 is not at this event. They've changed it. It's in a different place. It's in Halifax. It's like different time of year altogether. But just the fact that the women's side has grown so much from we're barely strapping a team together to 3 teams and all 3 are competitive and the divisions are all competitive and great. It really shows how far female hockey has come.
I find that I like the way that it mirrors now. Like you have both the under 14s and you have the under 16 female to go with the U15 male right at the forward pad. The Q Cup's its own event, and I like that the U18 event is its own event in the spring for the females as well. I just find there's consistency between both pathways kind of before that junior cutoff happens, if a university cutoff happens. So I would say that it's a better overall event. Being at the one in Dartmouth that they host in the spring, like even that one there, you're starting to see college coaches around. It's more, again, isolated. You're not trying to catch everything. So to have that U16 male side and the U18 female side be kind of its own separate events, I think it's taking a really big step.
The only downside to the U16, I feel, is at a different rink. If I want to go watch it, it's not like it's okay, I can just walk across the parking lot. It's in a different town. It's in Dieppe. Now, the rink that they do have, the Q Cup, I love it.
Uniplex.
I love the Uniplex. Dieppe is perfect rink for the Q Cup.
Yep.
You've got it's the right size of ice. You get enough seats. I find I really like that rink to coach in. I like the glass in that rink. I know it might seem like just
glass.
It's pro, but it's not the same as in it moves, but it's like it's really dead. So when you hit the puck, dies off it, right? But it's just a really nice ambiance. I just really like that facility in general and just how it's laid out. So I think it's a good place to have the Q Cup. But I almost wish they could do it a week before, or maybe the first 3 days of the week, and then I can walk over and go to, or I can stay in Moncton and then go to the ACC in the last couple of days of the week, because it's just so hard. If I want to watch U16, I can't watch it. You got to make the commitment to I'm going to U16 only, because the games a lot of times are at the same time. So, as a scout, I went up there a couple of years ago. As a scout, I went to the Uniplex, and then once you're there, that's it. I'm there, and I didn't get to see as much on the ACC side. So maybe they make that tweak in the future. The worst song you've ever come on the ice to is blank.
World Juniors were in Czechia, I think, in 2020. So it was right after that. But they had, every time there was a penalty, this clown car music started going. It was a little it was straight out of the circus. And again, slow, mellow, everything. Anyway, I was coaching U15. Our kids come on the ice, and that comes on during warm-up, and you kind of just see kids start looking up and around, giggling. Anyway, we had a motley start right after that, so it's got to be that one for sure.
For me, it's Kiss from a Rose by Seal. The first time I ever came on to the ice in Clarenville for my first-year senior at the old Clarenville, a.k.a. the Tin Can, the Clarenville Stadium. They must have had an old figure skating tape or something like that, because comes on the ice to Kiss from Rose? If you've ever put that song on, you realize it's more of a slow romance song, not a pump up, get your feet going, get the blood pumping song. by far the worst. We come on, we start to laugh. Like, it was always just a kind of a running joke with our team. And even the guys that I'm still staying in touch with today, we joke about, remember back in their first year senior when we had to play for Clarenville and come out to Kiss from Rose. So, yep, there it is. Worst song. Do you have a worst song? Feel free to comment in the description of this video. We'll comment. We'll write back on every single comment too. If it's a good song, bad song, indifferent, we will comment on it. And maybe we've heard it at the rink, Bess.
Hey, there's a lot of songs. You sing a lot of songs on the ice too. So
I do. I like to bust out some songs. I was singing around, coming around the mountain on Friday. Just a random. And who knows what might come to my mind in the run of a session.
But it's like you might get like you kind of time it like you get like the intro at the beginning of a session. Like you might get 5 or 10 minutes, and all of a sudden you get a little bit of the chorus. She keeps coming. We get through it all by the end of time.
She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain. I'm going to stop now. World Juniors Team Canada coaches, Best. We've got Dale Hunter.
Yeah.
Pretty good coach.
World Junior gold medalist.
We've got Brad Lauer, former NHL player.
Not bad.
And we've got Gardner McDougall, Mr. Mustache himself.
My guy.
Yep, your guy. Your boy. What do you think of this staff?
I like it. I think when you think of Dale, so he would have been part of that 2020 crew. Correct me in the comments, am I right? But that would have been Lafreniere's year, same as that World Junior song that I was just referenced. So again, gold medal experience, it's great. Not as familiar with Brad, but again, National Hockey League experience, happy with it. And then obviously Gardner, I think he's a short tournament guy. I'm really excited for him to get this opportunity. I think what he's done in the youth sport events, having that major junior experience now, and also winning gold with that under 18 squad against the U.S.'s national development team program. I think it's worth it. I think those three guys, again, you have a little bit of an energetic staff. Obviously, we're coming off disappointments of last year. We're coming off disappointments the years before. Expectations are going to be at an all-time high. I'm going to be really interested to see how that group of athletes and how those coaches manage that group of athletes, because it's an absolute pressure cooker. Like, expectations, gold or bust every single year.
But McDougall has won with this group before.
Correct. This is his group. Yes.
Yeah, he's won with them in the past. So I feel like he has a good rapport with them. I feel like that's why he was added there. I feel like it's okay.
Well, McKenna made the comment like he is something along. He is the glue that holds us together. The kids are going to be like, you're glazing them, man. But he's a good coach and he's won. He's earned that.
Yeah. When you're successful, I even had a tweet about a year ago saying he's probably one of the, if not the best coach in Atlantic Canadian history.
Most winningest for sure.
I get Gerard Gallant, I get Doug McLean, Rick Bonus. Even though Rick Bonus never won Stanley Cup, he's still.
Those guys are all in the discussion here right now.
Right. I think that you could probably make the conversation that is your Mount Rushmore of coaches, right? Of Atlantic Canada and you can't just look at it as NHL wins.
No.
I think you've got to look at it from how successful was that person at each level. Yeah. And McDougall's made 2 Memorial Cup appearances, one with St. John, with just, here you go, here's a hockey team that just got knocked out in the first round, and can you do something with this team? And then he goes out and wins the Mem Cup. That said, I do feel the Mem Cup is one tournament where you can win it if you have a good team that you get knocked out early because you're fresh.
That's my hot take. There. I almost think as a host, if you want to win the Mem Cup, sometimes it's better than slugging it through 4 rounds. Like, you look at how gassed some of those teams are. Like Windsor in 20, I think that's 17 or 18 comes to mind. Like, they got knocked out early. Sergachev was part of that team. Like, again, you have kind of that month to reset, get everybody, and you only have to buy in for 4 more games. You don't have to buy in for 20 in the playoffs and the grind. You only have to buy in for 4 games. Again, we talk about with our kids taking breaks sometimes from hockey in the summer. I think that then you come back as a group hungrier, so that can help you in the Mem Cup too.
Well, let's pivot into the coaching staff. Going back to Dale Hunter. Obviously, he's done very well. Won the Mem Cup of London. That program, in my opinion, is the flagship program in the CHL,
without question.
When you think of that program, you think of Tkachuk, you think of Kane. There's so many great players that have come through that program, but also just winning, just in winning in general. They're always successful, and last year's no different. So him and Mark have done a fantastic job with that program. They get great crowds. It's just a flagship program for the CHL. Brad Lauer, I don't really know him. I remember having his 1991-92 Chicago Blackhawks Pro Set card. but that's about all. But that coaching staff looks like a pretty good one. And then my only comments, I guess, you look at everybody's age. You got Hunter. I mean, I'm going to say he's in his 50s, 60s. McDougal, based on how many white whiskers are in that mustache, I'm going to say he's in his 50s, 60s. Maybe even closer to 70. Lauer, probably around the same age as Dale Hunter, probably born in the 60s, 70s. Where are the young guys? Do we have a young assistant coach that we can say they were going to develop this guy with? Yeah. You've got two studs there already. What, maybe Lauer is replaced for a young guy? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I think if you look at our game as a whole, across every single level, that we don't really have a lot of young guys. Like one of the only, again, like who's going through the major junior rosters, like Brad McKenzie's a young head coach, but I feel like he is the exception rather than the rule. Like, again, I can remember being a kid going to the Metro Center, and Mario DeRoche seemed to coach for, it seemed like, every single Quebec League team at one point. And again, won lots. I believe he would have been in Bathurst when they won it all in 2018. But again, it's like you typically don't see a lot of young guys in head coaching positions, and even assistant coaching positions at that point, you would say. I think it's something that it's interesting to consider, particularly when you're coaching this style of athlete that we have now. Kids need someone that they can connect to in that short-term event. It's all about trust and buying in quick. Do you look at bringing in somebody who's maybe young into coaching, been in the World Juniors before, understands what that experience is like?
Yeah, I just going back to last year watching the games with Dave Cameron, I just felt like he's just an absolute statue over there. I just really didn't get much vibe from him at all. Like if I'm a player, like, if I'm a young guy at this point, like, he just seemed like he would just, maybe his time has moved on. I mean, yes, of course, very successful coach. He's done real well at the CHL level, and he's been involved with Hockey Canada for decades. I played with his son, actually. Played World Under 17 with Connor. But what is there a hot shot guy in major junior or maybe college? Like the U.S. team seems to bring in a lot of younger faces to those programs. Maybe they just have a little bit more connection with the players, or at least someone that we can build off in years to come. Because I mean, how many more years does Hunter have? How many more years does McDougal have? I mean, let's maybe get some new blood in there. Not just an old boys club.
Yeah, I don't know, and that's the interesting part. Like I think, again, it comes down to you're trying to break the stereotype, you're trying to break the mold, and it's hard to be the first one. I don't know. I think if you look at the States with what Carl has, like again, a little bit younger guy, doing an unreal job with Denver. Shout out Will Healy, who just accepted a job as their director of hockey operations. Will, if you're listening to it, congrats, man. But again, like as young coaches, that connection, kids need life. They need someone who's on them all the time. You need the constant interaction. You need constant validation. Maybe a younger voice brings that. I don't know. At the same time, you look at last year's team, like if you don't have the 5-minute major in the quarterfinal game, maybe that power play goal doesn't squeak in, they go all the way. Maybe we're not sitting here talking about this saying that we need new life, right? Like it's unfortunately in a one game takes all, like that's where you're at.
Yeah, I just didn't like their power play. I mean, you just go back in a short-term tournament, you always need great penalty killing, a great power play, you need great goaltending. Their power play to me just looked completely off all tournament. And that's one thing, you get opportunities in the power play and you just almost give the other team momentum. But they do have some young coaches in the World Under or in the Helinka coming up in the U18. Matthew Turcotte, a young guy, familiar with Matthew's been involved with Ontario Hockey Academy over the years. And Travis Crickard, shout out to Newfoundlander, shout out to Gonzaga Vikings alumni, Travis Crickard. He's been successful with Hockey Canada and younger than me, not a little bit older than Bess.
Yeah, everybody's a little bit older than me.
And everybody's a little bit younger than me.
There you go.
That's except for the coaches on Team Canada right now. I used to watch them on TV. Major junior cuts. We've had a lot of them. This time of year now, we're going to start seeing where we're creeping into Labor Day, and that's when junior A camps start. So you will see a lot of players moving on from major junior camps. They've had a good enough look. They've signed their guys that they want to sign. Maybe they got a couple of position battles left. But a lot of players now, you're starting to see, okay, Charlottetown Honors, they released 13 players this weekend. The Regiment, okay, they released, I think, 16 players in the last couple of days. They want to get guys in the junior A programs, and then they can start school because we've got Labor Day coming up. School in Canada starts just after Labor Day. So if you are a player, or if you are someone watching this broadcast and you're a player who just got cut for major junior, what are you doing?
Like, I think my first steps is always to, okay, so what's next? Like, you're probably going into a major junior camp. Well, not probably, you are. Because if you're not, you're lying. Like, thinking, like, I'm going to play here this year. Whether you're 16, you're 17, you're an 18-year-old FA, like, you're going in there thinking you're going to play. So I think it's fine to have the night and be disappointed, but it's all about, like, what are you doing the next day? So where am I playing? Am I going back to U18? Am I going to prep? Am I going to play junior A? And I think that it's important that you're not just basing that decision, well, this guy did that, so I need to go do that, right? Like, everybody has kind of their own path, and kind of sorting out where that's going to be. Maybe it is to go to junior A, and I'm going to play in the Maritime League as a 17 or 18-year-old. Maybe it is, you know what, I'm going to go back to U18, I'm going to be the guy at home, okay, I'm going to be able to, finish out high school, then I'm going to make my jump back to junior A or to major A. Maybe it's I need to change the scenery. Like, there's nothing, I don't think there's a wrong decision. I just think it's important that you understand what's important for your path at this point.
That's well answered. And just going back to my personal career, I went to Halifax Mooseheads camp. I was 17 years old. The ink wasn't dry on the training camp posters, and I got cut. This was devastating to me, but I had a plan of, okay, if I do end up getting cut, this is where I'm going to go. And was it a good decision for me at the time? Yeah, I thought it was. I had played under 18 AAA with the Leafs the year before. I had a really strong year, and I'd already been drafted. So, and the league was not going to be very strong in Newfoundland that year. Western were going to have a lot of guys graduating, and same thing with Central. It was an older league. So I knew the team was going to, throughout the year, our Leafs team, we were only one team in St. John's. So it was going to be very, very strong, which it was. They finished third in the Canada Cup that year. So I decided to go play junior A in Pembroke, which I thought at the time was a good decision. We could practice every day. Our teams with the Leafs back then only practiced twice a week. Pembroke, we practiced 4 to 6. If we didn't play, we were practicing 4 to 6. It was 4 o'clock, we were going with flow drills, and 5 o'clock, we were going with systems with a flood in between. So it was good overall experience. I had a couple injuries that year and had a couple of setbacks just personally, and that year was kind of a washout year for me, and I lost a lot of confidence, but I still feel like, looking back on it, that was the best choice for me to go play junior A. I think going to play junior A in Miramichi would have been a better choice, though, if I wanted to play major junior, just because you get looked at more.
Yeah.
And when you're playing in Pembroke, it's like, okay, he's out of the way. We're not going there to see him. But if he's playing for Miramichi and they're in Halifax, I'm just going to go down the road and watch him play the Forum.
Maybe you hop on the bus on a road trip and they pick you up on the way through, right?
There you go. And that's a big thing about players. A lot of times, if you are living in Newfoundland, you get cut and a team comes to you and says, hey, we think you should play here this year. Yeah. Really take heed to that. Yeah. Because if they want you to play, and of course, if you're going there to play on the 5th line, it does not make sense for your development. But if they feel, okay, you should go down and play with the Weeks Crushers. Yeah. Okay. And we'll call you up. We'll probably end up playing 10, 12 games this year. And then you got a really good opportunity to play the following year. Okay, well, maybe I should probably listen to what they want. Yeah. Versus, I'm just going to go back to Newfoundland, or I'm just going to go back to where I'm from and play midget. So, and then the team is right, maybe they're not overly committed. Maybe they don't want it bad enough. So that's the one thing, if you can get that opportunity to play, as long as and as long as you can actually do that. Sometimes a 16-year-old Newfoundland, you can't actually do that. You need a lot of Hockey Canada loopholes. You'll have to come back and play your U18 or play prep wherever you have legal guardianship. So those are some legal loopholes that you have to follow. But if you're 17 years old and you get cut and you're like, oh, well, do I go back to midget? I tore it up the year before. This team really wants me. They want to sign me. They're going to give me opportunities to play and develop at this level, and I can handle the grind of it and so on. Then maybe going to junior A is a better option. Maybe. Everybody's option is different.
But I didn't even think, like, sometimes coming back to 18 for a third year for some kids is the right decision. Yeah. Maybe you are a late bloomer and you've never had the chance to dominate at a level before. You don't know what that feels like. Maybe that's the right decision. Maybe I had a really hard year personally and I need the comfort of home right now. Or it's maybe I've been coddled and I need to go away somewhere. I need to move away. I need to take a risk so that I'm better prepared, right? Like, I think it's important you have someone you trust outside your immediate family and even your junior team at that point, that you can make that decision and have someone to bounce those ideas off of. You need someone who's maybe lived it a little bit, maybe experienced it a little bit, but someone that you can trust. And at the end of the day, just be confident in your decision. Not at October being like, Jesus, like, what did I do? It's like, okay, this is a decision we're making. I'm doing it for the year. If it's not the right decision here at Christmas or at the end of the year, okay, then it's time to look after it. But I find now it's like, well, I'm not playing in the top 9, or okay, maybe I'm out of the lineup like in the first couple of weeks. Like, let's jump ship and let's get somewhere else. Like, I think it's okay to struggle at times as long as there is a development plan that's in place for you. There just has to be a development plan that's in place that makes sense for who you are as a player.
Yep.
Not just I'm paying my player development fee and I'm just on the 5th line and I'm here forever.
Yeah, I think that everybody's path is different. And but when you get cut from major junior, the biggest thing that I would suggest to players is just not give up and not look at it as, okay, like, trip over your bottom lip for 6 weeks after where you didn't make the team. Or maybe you were on the team last year and then they cut you and now you've got to go back to the junior A. That's okay. Your hockey career you've got so much runway. Even if you're 20, I mean, you still got lots of runway. You're pursuing university. You're pursuing minor pro. I mean, there's just so much opportunities out there, way more opportunities than when I was going through. There was way more opportunities for kids. I mean, maybe I'm 21 years old. I've got a lot of my university done. I can go and do my rest of my courses online and go play over in England. Or go play in Division 2 or Division 3 over in Sweden. Make enough money to live, but also get to see the world. I mean, there's just so many options for players now.
But I mean, I think people used to look at junior A and be like, well, that's where guys go to die. But now, like, junior A is going to turn, like, if you're playing Tier 2 junior A in Canada, like, that's going to become the U Sport League, right? Like, we're seeing a change in the area, and no one knows how this is going to shape out. Like, we probably have to get about 4 years to really know how this is going to look, because you're going to have guys moving back from Canada. Again, you have guys who signed pro deals who are going to be ineligible to play down in the States. But if you're looking at how many junior A guys are committing to U Sport that maybe not, or programs that did not have Tier 2 guys committing to them that are now, there's a lot more. So all of a sudden we just increased roster spots for Canadians to play college hockey, whether that be in the US or in Canada.
We can go on a tangent. We don't know where we could end up. This car could completely drive off Signal Hill, and we're still going to go.
Or we might end up in Port Basque.
You could end up in Port Basque, or you could end up in Halifax staying at the Muir. Have you ever seen a hotel?
No, I'm a Halifax guy, and no.
Oh my gosh. Elon Musk rented out the whole top floor of this hotel one time. Like, it is right on the waterfront. If you get a chance to stay in Halifax, pick a couple hotels. You're from Halifax, well, you're from Cole Harbour, you're Cole Harbour, Dartmouth. It's okay, like they're not, but it's like St. John's, Mount Pearl, but still, like, you're from okay. Stay in downtown. Where are you staying? Halifax.
Say Delta. Delta's nice. Not a bad spot down there.
The Delta?
It's not a bad spot. It's right
so there. The Delta has changed a little bit now. Now the old Delta Barrington is no longer the Delta Barrington.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So the old Delta Barrington right on Barrington Street is no longer the Delta Barrington, because I went to say it's actually called the Barrington Place Hotel now. So it's not even under the Marriott brand at all. Yeah. So, but you still have the old casino hotel. Yeah. It's still right across the street from that, which is a beautiful hotel. The Muir is spectacular. And if you want to go old school throwback, you go Weston, Nova Scotia. And honestly, what a brunch. Like, you want a good Sunday brunch, the Weston, Nova Scotian is unbelievable. Now, rooms are a little small because it's an old building. It's been around for, I'm going to say, since early to mid 1900s. We'll have to do a fact check on that. But beautiful hotel to stay at if you are in and around the downtown Halifax area. And that's it for us. Coach AP.
Coach Bess.
And next time we'll talk about taping our stick, because this has gone long in the tooth, and we out.